This is the Business of Leadership Series Minute with your host, the best-selling author of Don't Buy a Duck and founder of MarketingStrategyHero.com, Derek Champagne.
We've got a great guest today. We've got Matt Miller. He is the president and founder of School Spirit Vending. Matt, thanks for being our guest today.
Derek, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here.
You've got an interesting background, starting with 9 years of a career as an Air Force pilot. Thank you for your service, and tell me a little bit about your background if you want to start just with your personal journey and then how you got to where you are today.
So I grew up in the Chicago area, and when I got nearing the end of my high school career, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but had a friend of my dad's who introduced me to the Air Force Academy. And the one goal that I had was to go to school away from home and just kind of get out on my own and do new things. So fortunately, I had kind of done the right things along the way to where I was an ideal candidate for the academy. And so I was accepted and entered in the class of 1989 in July of 85. Went to the academy, was medically qualified to fly, even though I never really had aspirations to be a pilot. I found out that if I didn't want to fly airplanes and was medically qualified to do so, that I had to talk to the 3-star and explain to him why I didn't want to be a pilot. So I literally became a pilot because I didn't want the FaceTime with a general.
So what were you flying?
For the first, we've got a year of pilot training. I went through that in Lubbock, Texas, and then I was asked to come back and be an instructor pilot in the T-38, which is a little supersonic tandem trainer that the Air Force uses in the second half of a year's worth of pilot training. So I flew the T-38 for 5 years there in Lubbock, and then moved out to Dover, Delaware, and was a C-5 transport pilot for 3 years. My commitment to Uncle Sam was up in February of 98, and I opted to leave. Most of my peers went on to the airlines, but I didn't like the pilot lifestyle. I didn't want to be gone from my wife and my young son at the time, and really thought that I could do a lot better in the for-profit world. And so I made a complete and total leap of faith and jumped off into something that I had no experience in corporately, first working in the medical sales industry and then in the advertising industry. And along the way, I figured out in the military, and one of the reasons why I got out is I didn't like being told what to do, and thought that in the corporate world it might be better. And I found out that I had more freedom in the corporate world, but I was still being told what to do and had others dictating really my future, and I didn't like that. So I started doing some stuff on the side. We had taken a big pay cut out of the military to enter the private sector, and so that, coupled with the fact that I had an experience with my boss in the advertising space, where I ended up being number 2 out of the country of sales reps my first full year with the company, and she thought I got accolades a little too quickly and decided to throw 90+% additional quota increase on my numbers the next year. That decision cost my family about $80,000 in commissions and bonuses.
Derek Champagne here. So many exciting things happening in 2019. Join us. Visit DerekChampagne.com.